Police expect as many as 50,000 protesters to demonstrate against the government and call for reform of the monarchy. Reports say the rally, which is expected to stretch into Sunday, could be the largest in years. Our senior correspondent May Wong is following the protests in Bangkok. May, is it shaping up to be one of the largest demonstrations in years?
Indeed, Jill, this is definitely one of the protests to watch for, as the protesters have been preparing for this for months and weeks right now. There are a number of demands that the protesters are asking of the government, and they have been very consistent with it. There are three demands essentially. One is to change the constitution, which they deem is very undemocratic because it was actually drawn up by the military government. Two, they want the government, the current Prime Minister Prayut Chan-ocha, to step down and also to call for fresh elections. And three, for the state to not intimidate and to not harass any of the opposition activists from here on out. And obviously you can see massive crowds here way ahead of the official start time of the protest itself, which is supposed to actually take place in about an hour. But many people have been coming from all parts of the city to gather here right outside Thammasat University. In fact, the space inside Thammasat University is slowly filling up, and that's the reason why many people are already spilling outside. Aside from the three demands that I mentioned earlier, there's one final demand also by the activists, and that is to reform the monarchy in this country. Now, you must remember that the monarchy is highly revered in this country. Talk about the monarchy is highly restrictive as well, given the existing lèse majesté law. But the citizens here want a reform in that aspect, and they have laid out 10 demands to change the monarchy. One of the demands is to do away with the lèse majesté law, not to criminalize anyone who's speaking out about the monarchy. And two, they're also asking for a cutback in the budget for the royal palace. And these are just some of the many demands that the activists are asking for, not just from the students, not just from the middle-aged activists, but across the board, across the spectrum in society, as I see many of the older people that are also gathered out here today. I spoke to some of them, and they say they want to be physically here because they want to see history in the making. They want to be able to see what changes will come about after this. But also remember that this is done under the purview of the military government in terms of Thailand's Prime Minister Prayut Chan-ocha. Now, Prime Minister Prayut Chan-ocha has said earlier, a couple of days ago, in a nationwide speech, that he wants to allow this freedom of expression to continue in this country. And he says that he understands the grievances of the people. He understands that they want to change the constitution as well as to ask for improvement in the country. But he also reminded them that, number one, do not touch the monarchy, do not criticize the monarchy, and also remember about the health concerns that are so ongoing regarding COVID-19. With mass protests like this, people are wearing masks around me, as I can see, but also with close proximity, it's very difficult to prevent any infection if that were to break. So these are some of the demands that the students, as well as the activists and the general citizens, are asking for.
May Wong, thank you very much for that update. And let's check the temperature of the developing rally in another part of Bangkok with our correspondent, Saksit Sambat, who is also following developments. Saksit, May spelled out the demands that the rally is proposing. What about the historical significance of the sites where they are protesting at?
Jill, it's a day full of symbolism. They have not picked this place for chance. We're on the football field of Thammasat University on the Thap Prajan campus in the historical heart of Bangkok. This is the site of the university that is known for its political activism over the decades. This is a place that has been steeped in history, some of it unfortunately bloody and deadly. For example, the 1976 Thammasat crackdown, where a leftist protest uprising has been cracked down by right-wing militias and security forces. So that is why they have come back here. That is why this place has been a place where many protests have taken place, and many of the alumni, including the protest leaders that we are seeing today, are part of this university as well. But then surrounding this place here, there are also some other places. We have seen May Wong outside of the university. She is at Sanam Luang, which is a big plaza which used to be a public lawn in front of the Grand Palace, but it's not accessible anymore. And of course, there's the Grand Palace right there over there as well. And given the demands, and some of them calling for the reform of the monarchy, this could be seen as a huge provocation to an institution that is normally officially revered. But then also the date itself, also not picked by chance. Today is September the 19th. That is the anniversary of the 2006 military coup that toppled the government of Thaksin Shinawatra. And many political observers and analysts say that this is the first major fault line of all the political polarization that we have seen for the past 15 or so years that is leading us all the way until today.
Saksit saya sambat in Bangkok together with our correspondent May Wong. We will be checking in with them on the rally that some say could last well into Sunday.